Hello everyone, welcome back to What Would It Cost? We're here today with our special guest, Tyler Mclay, team lead and expert realtor under the Royal LePage umbrella. And we're going deep with everything to do with numbers and all that good stuff.
Today's episode is brought to you by Charlie's Burgers Wine Program. They're Canada's #1 subscription wine program. Every month for just over $100, the Charlie Burger Wine Program will deliver you 3 beautiful wines and accompany them with the story and background of each wine. These are wines that are not available at the LCBO and curated for a wonderful experience. Visit cbwineprogram.com and start a subscription or buy individual wines from the online store today.
And big shout out to our good friend Marco Tellerico, who's gotten behind this podcast with his sponsorship. We love you, buddy.
What is it going to cost?
How much? Hi, my name's Nicholas Regina.
My name is Michael Sakuro.
And you're listening to
What Would It Cost?
Is that good?
All right, so welcome to the podcast.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm a big fan of the podcast, and you guys have had some pretty incredible guests. So it's humbling to be, included in that echelon of realtor and guests that you've had in the past. So I appreciate it, and thank you. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. We appreciate that.
Right on. Thank you.
Let's get it.
So tell us a bit about yourself and what brought you to the real estate game.
Thanks for asking. So I've been in real estate for coming up on 8 years now as a salesperson. I'm a third generation realtor. I've been in the business for, I've grown up around the business. My grandparents were realtors. My mother was a realtor my whole life growing up. She actually works on my team now as well with us. So third generation, seeing it growing up and the work and the hours, I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too set on it, but you know what? I absolutely fell in love with it. I'm passionate about it. I love people. I love helping people. I love giving genuine advice and sharing knowledge. So I was just drawn to it. So I started working with my mom right off the bat.
Nice.
Since then, I I continued my education. I decided to pursue my Master's of Real Estate at Schulich School of Business. So I have my Master's from there after my undergrad in finance. So that was great. Met some awesome people there, and it's certainly helped propel my career. Just next level of knowledge of a realtor and a certain way of thinking for sure. Since then, we've been incredibly successful. I've got a team of 8 phenomenal realtors on my team. So shout out to you guys, to my team. You guys are incredible, doing great things. Super proud of them. We work out of downtown Toronto, right by St. Lawrence Market. We've got some great accolades and awards, 5-star reviews on Google, which is awesome. Our clients love us and continue to refer us. I really appreciate that. Top 35 under 35. I was honored to make that list. Thank you. In Canada, and also top 2% in Canada consistently in our market.
Nice.
So people are noticing what we're doing. You work a little harder, you add a little more value, and it's nice to get recognized and noticed for those long nights, extra hours, extra effort, because you know what, without a genuine passion, certainly wouldn't be you couldn't reach that level of success in this competitive industry. So I think that's huge. But once again, thanks for having me. I'm excited to get into it.
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, and before we get into the numbers, tell us a bit about your team and what that looked like, shifting from working under your mom to now being a team lead and having a team under yourself, and what the future holds for that.
Great question. I mean, like most entrepreneurs, a lot of times you haven't done something before you kind of take that deep dive in, right? So, I know real estate inside out and backwards. 2 hours every morning, I'm reading the news, reading the stats, coming up with my own kind of ideas, and we offer a lot of that value to our clients. So as my business began to grow, I knew I needed help. I had my assistant, my right hand, but it just wasn't enough. I needed more, licensed realtors on the ground to help kind of service the level of business that I had. So it was kind of an organic growth. I really made sure I had all the right pieces in place before I pursued the team model. I think some realtors out there kind of do it for the wrong reasons. They want to be a team leader, they want to get to the next level and maybe take their foot off the gas. For me, it was about kind of pushing that pedal down, flooring it, if you will, right? I'm full throttle. It's not that it's changed my role, but certainly enhanced my role as a manager and a leader, still servicing my business that I have. It happened very organically. It started with one, and then kind of grew from there. And at this point, I've got probably on average 1 realtor a week reaching out, wanting to join our team because we're young, we're dynamic, we're hungry. They love our branding, they love what we're doing, they love our message, and ultimately just caring. I think it's as simple as that, being in it for the right reasons and caring, and that is I guess well received and noticed. And now we're up to 8. We're bringing in a couple more in October, November. We're going to be bringing in a couple more realtors.
That's awesome.
And continuing to grow. I mean, I love the industry. I love the integrity of the industry. That's what I grew up with my mom. So a big part of me starting a team was to maintain that level of service and what you expect in a realtor, right? What do you want out of a realtor?
Right.
So I mean, I teach and train and coach my guys and girls in that same way. So it all started with my incredible mother raising me a certain way, showing me the ropes in real estate a certain way, right? Trust, integrity, being honest. It's not about you, it's about the client. And I think it's pretty far reaching. It's impressive what we've done. So super proud of my team, super proud of my guys, and we're just getting started. Like we're just getting started. So that's the team.
Yeah. Shout out to the Mclay team, man.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great. Very cool. And what do you look to do in regards to the building aspect? So you want a few hundred agents under you, going nationwide, you're doing a little bit
not too fast, not too quick. I think you lose that kind of integrity, right? I don't want to lose that. I mean, there's a lot of new agents. I actually teach the courses at Humber as well, the real estate courses. So I was doing that for a while. Now I've gotten into teaching more university level courses. So I've moved on from that. But when I was teaching that and going through those kind of motions, some of the people and the reasons they were getting into real estate just didn't really make sense to me, right? So I think the big thing with the team is starting small, making sure that they're just an absolute bunch of rock stars, knowing everything inside out and backwards, conducting a deal the same way that I would myself. I think if I grow too quickly, then you kind of lose that hands-on feel. Like I'm personally involved in every single deal, so it's a lot of time off my plate. And we spoke briefly just when we were chit-chatting before we started filming about work-life balance. I'm sure we'll get into that. That's probably the biggest struggle in this business for sure. But again, as I said, it's not about me wanting to take the foot off the gas. It's the foot, pedal to the metal, more work, more responsibilities, more effort. I'm happy to do it. No one pressured me to start a team. It was totally a conscious decision on my part, and there's a certain responsibility that comes with that for my team and my realtors. But we will continue to grow, not too fast, but just right. So I think, again, organically, right? As the business comes, as we build our business and we can support bringing in new agents, it'll happen that way. But no major plans, no hard numbers in terms of goals or ambition there. But as it comes, it comes. That's the plan.
You just keep it in 6th gear pinned.
That's it. That's it. Vin Diesel action.
One day at a time. That's awesome, though. Very cool. Very cool how you have touch points on all the files and all the transactions and dealing with all the clients too. They hear your voice, they see your face, they know that you're the backbone.
And that's the hardest part, is giving up that bit of responsibility, right? My clients, my network, they trust me. They trust Tyler Mclay. So to send out someone else that they essentially don't know, we got to make sure that we're maintaining that integrity of what they'd expect with me. They're also getting with Anthony or Daniel or Vince or Sue or Brenda or whoever it may be. Right.
And what do you do to ensure that you're molding them into the rock star that you want them to be, along with embracing their natural abilities and their strengths and their innate talents, and then what you kind of bring and infuse with that and mold them? Talk to us a little bit
that's a great question, because they each do bring such a unique ability, a great background in sales, customer service, a genuine passion, right? So you definitely want to hone in on that, and that's that's helping me refine my skills as well as a leader. So it's it's a double-edged sword here. We're both learning and growing together. They respect that, and I respect that hugely. But we do weekly team meetings talking about the market, talk about a little bit about what we're going to talk about today: inflation, interest rates, how it affects the market, new projects, supply and demand, all that fun nitty-gritty stuff, so that we're better prepared. Right? Knowledge is power. So the more prepared we are, the better we can advise our clients in their endeavors. We do our weekly team meetings. Anytime we have a coachable moment, I'll use that as an opportunity to kind of talk to the team. I think with me, there's so much knowledge and so much experience that I try to cram into a couple of hours in a team meeting. That's just not the case. I think it's a bit of a patience thing on both ends, on my side as a team leader and on their end, in terms of understanding that there's a lot to know in this business. It's something that I say is, the more you know, the more you learn, the more you almost realize that you don't know. Because there's so much out there. I remember my second year in the business, first year in the business, I was like, oh, Mom, this is easy. Like, this is... You open some doors, you sign here, right? There's not much to this thing. But the more you learn, the more you go, you're always encountering things that you haven't before. No two deals are the same. So it's tough to teach that.
Right.
Right? It's totally
Yeah,
an
yeah,
experiential thing. It's an experiential learning thing. And every time we have those coachable, teachable moments, we do that. I like to do one-on-ones with the team, things that they're, maybe could improve on, or things that they're doing very well, because as you said, they're all different. So just I think being very active, very involved on my part. I'm genuinely passionate about teaching, coaching, helping, and just the integrity of this industry that I know and love, and I want that to be emulated through my team.
Awesome.
Always.
That's amazing.
So just very hands-on, very hands-on. And they're doing a great job on their own. I mean, I just kind of, propel and help. I can teach anybody real estate. I can't teach anybody how to be a likable, personable salesperson, provide that top-notch customer service, right? There's little things, but I hire people for their personality, for the people, and I can teach teach the real estate, right? That I can teach.
Very well said.
So, nice.
Very cool.
And for anybody that's looking to get into real estate, or even seasoned realtors that are looking to become a team lead, talk a bit about the work-life balance that we're talking about, because I find not even just in the real estate market or what we do in the mortgage market, just entrepreneurs as an overall, it's always been the biggest struggle. I think that's the number one challenge, is that 100%. Work-life balance.
You got to be self-motivated. You got to be driven, right?
Myself,
you guys get it, right? You guys get it. I mean, it's no one's telling you to wake up in the morning. No one's saying, hey, it's 8 a.m. Where are you? You're late. Like that doesn't happen. You got to be self-motivated. So to get yourself there. But just to touch on the point about the team, like I did a lot of homework and research before. I spoke to a lot of colleagues and industry guys that were starting their teams, just to kind of pick their brains, see the way they did things, what I liked, what I didn't like, and create my own model there. In terms of the work-life balance, I've got an incredible fiance who loves me very much, and she's very supportive of the growth and the team. And you know what? I understand it takes a toll. I saw it growing up with my mom. Right? Pardon me, a lot of this business happens after 5 and weekends, right? When most people are off work.
Exactly.
When most people can go see homes and have questions. I get calls at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Guess what? I always answer the phone. This is what I signed up for. And if I was on the other end buying a $2 million asset, you better hope my realtor's answering the phone at 2 a.m. when I'm getting a little nervous, or I've got a question, or I don't fully understand something, right? So that's what we have to do. This is what we signed up for, and to be at that level of success. Again, it comes naturally when you're motivated and working hard.
Right.
But to be at that level, I think it comes with the territory, right? We're building here. We're building a team. My team relies on me. My family relies on me. My fiance relies on me. There's a lot of people that are counting on you to do certain things. I love it. I'm passionate about it, but I think the biggest stressor is that family life, right? I got a birthday this weekend. I got a communion. There's a wedding on the Saturday. There's always something, and you got to be there, and that's important. So I think that I'm trying to do a better job at that. All my focus is all business all the time, but I'm trying to do a better job at that. I mean, if your next guest on here has some better advice on work-life balance, man, I could use it, because that's definitely a struggle. But I think just being aware of it is the biggest thing. Just being conscious of how much time you're spending doing things. Right? You got to be at those important things. In this generation now, we're very mobile, right? I can always answer the phone. I like being in the office. I love working in the office. It's just a different tone. But I mean, I can answer my phone at a basketball game with a client. I can answer my phone at a wedding, right? You can do stuff, and you hate to do it, but hey, it comes with the territory. And again, going back to the team, if they need me, I got to be there for them. So that's what they expect. That's what the client expects. And I think Jeff Bezos actually said something about work-life balance. He said, I can't remember now on the spot, but he said he hates that term, work-life balance. You can't really have a balance, right? It's kind of got to all work together congruently. But I think it's a matter of mixing them in together. To have a balance is tough. It's more a matter of working them in with one another. I think to be a successful entrepreneur, you've got to do that, and to have a bit of that, life portion of the work life. But no, that's a great question, and I don't have a good answer on how to handle it. I'm still figuring it out. But that's work-life balance, man. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially in this business. People call you all the time. All the time. And you got a lot of things going on, a lot to deal with, and they're not buying a pair of Levi's jeans here. Right? They're buying a pretty big asset. They're going to have questions. And there's a lot of intricacies that they have to understand. So you got to take the time, take the patience, and explain things thoroughly.
Absolutely.
Worst thing is if someone's buying a major asset and they don't fully understand the process, or what's going on, or the extra fees, or what have you. So it's a responsibility.
Nice.
Very cool. And you're a numbers guy.
I'm a numbers guy. I love the numbers.
You
They can tell a good story, right? Always
Yeah.
very black and white, and you can
They don't lie.
they don't lie. You can derive some pretty cool answers from there, right? I always say I don't have a crystal ball, but we do the best we can with numbers and interpreting data to make educated predictions, and that's what we really like to do.
Right. Very well said. So talk to us a little bit about the climate of the market right now, what your projections are, what you've seen,
It's pretty dynamic out there, right? It's pretty dynamic. I mean, the way that I put it, more recently with these interest rate changes and this recency bias is it's kind of like the winter time, right? You go outside, first snowfall of the year. Holy smokes! I know we're Canadian, but we forget what winter's like. We don't have our snow tires on yet, right? We don't know where our goose is. Our toque's tucked away in a pocket or something somewhere. We're unprepared, right? By the third or fourth snowfall, oh yeah, man, this is Canada. We know what to expect.
Right.
We got our winter tires on. We get in the car, goose. We're all warm and fuzzy. Start the car a little early, heated seat, right? We know how to handle this environment. But after a nice summer, we forget about it. And that's exactly what's happening now, right? We forget what a balanced market is because we've had two and a half years of ultra low interest rates, a crazy market where you throw a sign on the lawn and things are selling just like that. So I think people just kind of forget what a balanced market is.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time to get back to normal. All things considered, I think this is a great scenario all around.
Yeah.
I think it makes things a lot better for buyers,
Yeah.
right? They have a chance to see things and, have home inspection again, right? Which you're buying a big asset. That's something you probably want.
Yeah.
But no, overall market, I mean, I'm not worried about the interest rates going up to this level. Are they going a little too fast? Yes. I think they're probably raising them a little too fast for what's comfortable. But to combat inflation, this is our only action we can take, right? Is to hike the interest rate. So inflation, we're looking, realized probably 8 to 9%. So I mean, we can't have rates at 8-9%, but the best we can do is make money a little bit more expensive because cheap money and pumping this money into the economy devalues currency, devalues the value of our dollar.
Yep.
Right, so it's like when our parents used to go buy milk at the grocery store, or my grandfather tell me stories. 10 cents, he'd get a pack of gum and a Coca-Cola. Yeah, right, for 10 cents. So you can't do that now. Now it's like $5. So it's the same thing. Things get more expensive with inflation. That's what inflation is. Yeah. So ultimately, you make money a little bit more expensive, and that's how we can deal with it. But it's relative. We had these ultra low rates, and now they're a little bit higher. Money's still super cheap. Right? You look at a 10-year history, money is still super cheap. Yeah. But we had it good for 2 years, and now people, the sky is falling. What's going on here?
There's that new norm, and they were uncomfortable seeing that change after, and they completely forget what the past
100%. And then you've got people questioning what they did, right?
Leaned up against it too, right? In regards to the winter time. It's like, how repetitive is that? How often does that happen? Every year.
Every year,
so
right?
It's like, we're still not ready for it, but great analogy to lean up against.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it just makes it understood a little bit and not so scary, right? Because that's what it is. Knowledge is power. Yeah. When you understand things a little bit better, or our clients can understand things a little bit better, and we can help them get there, then they're making more educated decisions, more confident decisions, and that's what matters most. Yeah. But overall, I think we're in a super healthy market. People the media loves to talk about real estate, and obviously somewhat pessimistic lens, right? But money goes up, the cost of money goes up, purchasing power dips in theory, right? But we can't just look at that one ingredient. We've also got to look at the immigration coming to Toronto and Canada, right? It's incredible. 1.5 million people over the next 3 years. That's insane. That is a lot of people. Yep. And guess what? These people need a place to live. Right. Yeah. The jobs that are coming to Toronto specifically and across Canada. Woodbridge, man. I talk with my hands. Right? But we've got the right talent here, right? Yeah. We've got the right talent, and that's what these employers absolutely love. So we're getting, the Metas of the world, the Googles, these big tech monsters who want to hire our phenomenal Toronto talent, right? Yeah. Silicon Valley of the North, right? These big companies are coming here. Our finance industry is insane. Our tech industry is insane. We've got some big industry here. Yeah. And I think another thing that makes Toronto so special is you look at the U.S., you want to be a consultant or in the finance industry in the U.S., you've got 40, 50 major cities you can go live and work in. Right? You can go to Houston, you can go to Nashville, you can go to Boston, New York, right? You name it, L.A. There's so many of them. Yeah. Canada, what do you have?
Toronto, Vancouver.
You've got Toronto, maybe Vancouver, but you need long hair and a surfboard, right? Yeah. Maybe Vancouver. That's a totally different animal, but I mean, seriously hard work, finance, it's Toronto.
Yeah, and
right,
even
maybe
70% of that 1.5 million, they find themselves in Ontario.
Well, that's it. When I did my master's, the whole narrative was density. Around the world, not just North America, but around the world, density. Cities are growing. right? Suburbs were shrinking. COVID flipped that script. People wanted more land. They wanted a backyard. They wanted a cottage, right? You can't travel, right? You take that away.
Yeah.
You get remote work being a little more prevalent in our society. People could live further away. And you look at that value for money, right? That trade-off.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say $1 million. What can $1 million get you in core Toronto versus Collingwood or even Tottenham or Bolton or what have you, right? Bowmanville, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why we saw prices in, I call it the 905, right? Further out there, suburbia, went crazy because people saw the value in that. Now, COVID hopefully is totally behind us now. I think it is. You see people coming back to the city. Right. And these are, again, predictions we can make based on looking at history, looking at numbers, looking at the flow of people, city-centric model, right? We're restricted based on the Lake Ontario, the Greenbelt. We've only got so much land to work with. So we're constrained on land supply.
Yeah.
That's why we're building up higher condos, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
that's
laneway houses now.
Laneway houses, right? They're trying to get creative in terms of adding housing, right? There's the federal budget, 100 kind of point plan or ideas of how we can make housing more affordable and add supply. But yeah, I mean, affordable housing, this is kind of a touchy topic. I think people need to understand and make certain concessions when they're starting out.
Right.
I understand the price of a home is expensive, but something that I say that gets a varied response is that home ownership specifically is a privilege, not a right. Okay, that's something that I believe, being a numbers guy, economy guy, right? I mean, it's a different world now. Toronto is a different city than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? There's rental options available. You don't have to put that pressure on yourself to buy a house.
Exactly.
Right? An asset is worth what someone's willing to pay.
Very well said.
Right? People want to be here in Toronto. People want to be here in Canada, and that's what's propelling the prices up. Right? You can whine about it, or you can go to work, take on a second job, save a little bit more, work with your friends,
Very
relatives. Jump in, buy something together. I mean, under $1 million on a primary residence, you can get away. You guys know, right? 5% down on the first 500,000, 10% on the balance. Right?
Yep.
So work a little harder, save a little harder.
There's options.
There's options. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not trying to discount the fact that anybody could buy a house, but not everybody needs to have that goal and put that pressure on themselves. Right? I think housing affordability. What do you tell the 50% of young people that bought homes in the last 2 years? What do you tell them? Okay, we're going to cut the value of your house in half, so that the new generation, you guys that worked hard and saved your money and asked for help and whatever the case may be, you guys got in the market. Now we're gonna curb the market.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Doesn't make sense.
I love how you called it more a privilege, right?
Yeah.
I was having a conversation the other day with someone, and they were talking about how New York's at about $4,500 a square foot in certain areas. And it's like, it's not even a conversation if you're going to buy a property.
No, it's not.
It's rent.
And we're on that
renting,
cusp.
right?
We're on that cusp now as a global city, right? Do people buy in London, England, in Singapore, in LA, New York, right? No, we're approaching that level. And if you want to be that world-class city, it's tough. Affordability, home affordability is tough. Right.
Right?
Exactly. So it's just a changing
very well said, Ty.
dynamic here. So
very cool. The way you put that on.
I think it's even lowering the mindset or expectation for that first home. You know what I mean? Understanding that it doesn't have to be the nice downtown Toronto home or condo. 100%. Go in these outside markets, see how you could either do student housing or just it's a nice rental. You're getting your foot in the market, 100%. You grow that asset, and then work up to that dream home. I think that's where it is, where our parents' generation is like, they got whatever they could get, got into the market. Just so happened to be areas like Vaughan and Toronto at that time. Right. But I think it's shifting, and we got to do that. Is look at those outside markets, get into the market, and then work your way back into that.
100%. Work your way back,
or
work
I don't
your
think
way
people have to
up.
feel bad about that.
Right?
It's not your end goal right now because you're just starting out.
100%. I think that's the biggest thing is people have to manage their own expectations in terms of what's possible. Right? I can give you a laundry list of condos for sale under 600,000 in Toronto. Right? So you bite the bullet, you take transit, you sell your car or whatever. Right? You don't need parking. You can get around the city without a car. And you make that sacrifice of living in a one bedroom with your fiance or by yourself or what have you. And you're in the market. You're building that equity. You're paying down that mortgage. And money is so cheap, right? So get in. It makes that next jump that much more realistic, right? And that's something I think people have to have very, decent ideas of what their first home is going to be. And that's just what it is. It's a first home.
Right.
It's not a forever home.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a forever home.
Absolutely. And
Right?
everyone's got
huge.
their own story. They got to start their chapter 1 doesn't look like someone's chapter 20.
100%.
They got to
100%.
They got to get a lot more modest about their expectations and the pressure they put on themselves. But very well said, man.
Sure.
That's
And I get
awesome.
it. Everybody wants to drive the fancy car and live in the penthouse overlooking the lake, seeing Tower View, right? But you know what? It takes time, it takes steps, it takes effort to get there.
Get there,
and, you know, I get it. Oh, I want a 2-bedroom. Oh, this is too small. But you got to get in to work your way up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the average person moves 7 times in a lifetime. I'd like to see how that kind of trend changes going forward. Is it a little bit more? Is it a little bit less? You know, we'll see. Transaction costs are very high here in Toronto, right? So when you're moving, you got realtor fees, you got land transfer tax. That's another thing we can talk about. You know, it's a big effort to move. They say the number one stressful thing to do is moving.
Yeah.
That's what people weight as the most stressful thing to do. So, you know, I get it, but working your way up, moving up is a great option.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But yeah, in terms of land transfer tax, getting into the market, I mean, you want to make it easier, you want to make it more affordable. The land transfer tax benefit for first-time home buyer has not changed since its inception, really.
Right.
To give you ballpark numbers, it's a max of $4,000 on a provincial level, right? Discount on land transfer tax, and a max of roughly $8,000 on a municipal and provincial level. Okay, $4,000 on each. Now, that was the same benefit when you could still buy a home for $250,000,
Right.
$300,000. Condos in the city were low 2s, right? And land transfer tax is a tax on the purchase price of a home. Okay, it's a percentage tax. So that tax, the cost of that tax has gone up as values have gone up. But the land transfer tax benefit for a first-time home buyer hasn't changed, right? There's a cap there, there's a ceiling there. So again, to put it in simple terms, there's a municipal and then there's a provincial. Okay, tax and benefits. So you're paying double if you're in Toronto, and same thing with your first-time home buyer benefit. You're getting double the benefit if you're in Toronto. Okay, so again, simple numbers. It's about $4,000 rebate, max of $4,000 rebate on a provincial level, and a max of $4,000 on the municipal level. So you get both if you're in Toronto. Okay, it's hard to talk numbers verbally, right?
Right.
I like a chalkboard or something. But that being said, as the value of real estate's gone up, they've done nothing to let that credit go up, right? That benefit go up. So land transfer tax, like that's the hardest part of getting people in the market, is having that down payment and those funds up front. When you compare a mortgage to rent, it's very similar, right? We could talk about this for hours, right? It's very similar, but it's that down payment, having that cash to get into the market. And yeah, that land transfer tax benefit has not increased. Right? When homes were 200, 250,000, land transfer tax benefit to a max of, again, 8,000 in Toronto, 4,000 municipal, that was enough to kind of wipe that out.
Exactly.
Right?
You got rid of pretty much all your closing costs.
100%, or a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
And now, values of that, you know, whatever that was now is $1 million. So your land transfer tax is, again, a portion of that value. It's like 30 grand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, $8,000 discount, sure, that's great, that's fine and dandy, but these young people still have to come up with $22,000.
Right.
That's still a lot of money on top of a down payment.
Yeah, it's big.
Right? It's a third of an annual salary in Toronto.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really want to help young people. Remove the land transfer tax for a first-time home buyer. Right? Not for everybody, but for a first-time home buyer. Give them that edge, give them that advantage.
Right.
So there's different things that we could be doing. I think a lot of it is political play, right? For election and stuff. I mean, the ban on foreign buyers, what a joke that is. They make up less than 3% of our market, and they're non-voters.
Right.
So let's throw the blame on, foreign buyers of our market. Let's pass that blame over there.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have to worry about their votes, but it's a pat on the back, and politicians can feel good about it. But
Exactly.
is it going to make an impact? No.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but you gave us amazing information today, especially for our viewers. So we appreciate that. And thank you. We know you're an extremely busy guy, so we appreciate you coming today and giving us some time to have a conversation with us.
It's my pleasure. I really appreciate you guys having me out. There's a great space here, and you guys are great guys, so I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
I hope the viewers can enjoy and learn a little bit something new.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
we'll
me.
definitely need to have you back for another market update for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was good.
I'd love
That
it.
was good.
I'd love it.
Yeah,
I love hanging with you guys.
Yeah.
So this
Absolutely.
has been fun.
Yeah,
And
man.
and let everybody know where they could check you out on your team.
Of course, yeah. So, Tyler Mclay Realty Group. We're located right down by St. Lawrence Market. Instagram, it's Tyler Mclay Realty Group. Our website is tylermclay.com. Lots of Tyler Mclay. Holy smokes. But yeah, if you guys want to reach out, any questions, any concerns, any answers, feel free to reach out, and we'd love to connect you to myself or someone on the team. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Amazing.
Again, thanks to our sponsor, Marco Tellerico. We really, really appreciate the support. And guys, make sure to check them out, subscribe, and you can't get that wine anywhere else. You can't find it in the LCBO. It's exclusive to them.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Charlie's Burgers as well. Big fan.
Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode. Be sure to like, follow, share, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.
Next on What Would It Cost?
I have family all over the world. They'll call me. They'll be like, oh, I saw your brokerage. And it's like, it's franchised, right? As an advantage being with RE/MAX, I have that access to people who work in brokerages all over the world.
118 countries, 158,000 agents you guys have.
I always give my first-time tenant clients kind of like a pep talk, and I'll be like, listen, you'll probably get rejected your first 3 times. When you get rejected, people think it's personal, but it's not. It's not a personal decision. It's just because, again, they don't know you. They are looking at your numbers. They're looking at your credit score, your employment, your pay stubs. They're digging deep. Now social media, everyone's looking through your social media. They're finding you on Facebook. You know, what did you do yesterday? Oh, you said that all you do is study, but I saw you at a party yesterday. We don't want you as a tenant.